Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kieran, of course, from Red Devil Weekly, and we are back to preview United's last game of the year, their last Premier League game in 2022, as they prepare to take the trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers. Before we get into that, please do leave your thoughts in the comment section down below heading into this game. I really do enjoy reading all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, so please do get them down below and I'll reply to every single one of you guys. Also, if you do enjoy the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well if you are new as well. But we're just going to get into it because it's not going to be too long of a preview tonight. Of course, United's last game in 2022 in a year which has been very up and down, consistently inconsistent, I think it's fair to say, from Manchester United. I think we've had, 3 managers in this period. It's been unbelievable year for Manchester United, and not necessarily in a good way. But we're coming to the last game, and I think it's a very, very tricky one. A very tough test for this Man United side. A test that we should get through, but we'll go through why I think it's going to be a tough game in just a second. Jamie, thanks for joining. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Tough one tomorrow. New manager syndrome always does us over. I mean, this, I think, is a brilliant segue, actually. I'll keep that on the screen because it's a brilliant segue to why I think it's going to be a tough game, because we're going to talk about Wolves. And of course, anyone who follows the Premier League will know that Julen Lopetegui recently took over Wolves. I think his first game was Gillingham in the League Cup, and since then I think he's got a 100% record so far. This will be his first Premier League game at Molyneux, so obviously it's going to be a bouncing atmosphere. They seem to have a little bit of that new manager bounce. Won their last Premier League game as well, a last minute winner by Aït-Nouri at Goodison Park to beat Everton 2-1, although to be honest with you, I don't rate Everton that much this season. But still, 2 wins out of 2 in the Lopetegui era, and I'm sure this is going to be a massive game for them, welcoming Manchester United to Molyneux. And it seems like he's gotten playing with a little bit more confidence, I think, especially when they found themselves rock bottom of the Premier League table before Lopetegui took over. The confidence was just going to be through the floor at that football club. The players were probably just not believing, the style of the previous manager, and obviously heads were dropped. But when a new manager comes in, as Jamie rightly pointed out, it always gives you that lift. And yeah, it looks like we're going to be in that storm again. Hopefully we can come out of it better than we did against Aston Villa when Unai Emery's Aston Villa turned us over. But yeah, as I said, it's going to be very, very tricky. I think especially with that win in their last game, it's a massive confidence booster, and I think that's what you need, especially going into these big games. Molyneux will be bouncing. It'll be a very tricky atmosphere to deal with. But I'm not saying we're not the favourites going into this game, but we do have to really respect this Wolves side. Yes, they've had a poor season so far, but if they win this game or even get a point out of this game, they're probably going to be outside the bottom 3, which would be huge for them. So they've got a massive incentive going into this game. They've also got a lot of talented players. The players they've got in their squad are players which in the past few seasons have been challenging for European places. Never mind being down in the relegation places. So their team is not as bad as their league position suggests. They really, really aren't. And we know that. Adama Traore, he's a tricky player. I mean, obviously his pace is unbelievable. If his end product isn't brilliant, but if he improved that end product, he could be a world beater. I really, really do believe that. But, he's just one of them. Ruben Neves, of course, has been a transfer target. Podence as well, who apparently is a bit of an injury doubt. He might play, he might not. But Podence is obviously a massive handful. And Aït-Nouri seems to be in good form as well. So they've got quite a few players on that team that can cause us problems and have caused us problems in the past. Our record at Molyneux haven't been brilliant since they got promoted back to the Premier League. It's not been a happy hunting ground for us, so it's going to be very tricky. And of course, the final bad omen, if there isn't enough bad omens for Manchester United, is that it's the 12:30 kickoff. The early kickoff has never been a good one for big sides. There's a lot of upsets in the 12:30 kickoff, and I'm hoping Man United don't fall foul of that as well. Matthew's joined us. Thanks for joining, Matthew. Appreciate it. He says important game tomorrow. He believes it's an important game. 100% is an important game. I mean, at this point, when you are chasing top four, every single game's important. And obviously Liverpool got their win against Leicester. A fairly fortunate win, I'd say, but a win's a win. 3 points, I'll absolutely take that. But it just means that it puts a little bit more pressure on us. We have to keep that gap between us and Liverpool for as long as possible. We have to keep them chasing us. So in terms of Manchester United, I think looking ahead after that win. I thought we played very well against Forest. I don't know why I was taking a long time to think about who we played there, but yeah, obviously the 3-0 win over Nottingham Forest, I think a pretty decent performance. I thought Forest didn't play too well, but ultimately we got the job done. It was a fairly comprehensive win in the end, a fairly confident win from Manchester United, and obviously you can see a lot more of my reaction if you go back and watch my match reaction, my match review of that game. It's on the channel right now. But looking ahead into this game, I think the way we play will be fairly similar. Obviously the fact that Wolves have been struggling this season, they will have a lot more confidence, especially after their last 2 wins. But I think we've got to be positive. We can't be overawed by the occasion. We can't be overawed by the Wolves fan potentially laying it on us. We have to be positive. We have to put the game onto Wolves, and we have to use our quality. And at the end of the day, Marcus Rashford is in brilliant form. If he can continue to capture the form he's been showing in the last few games, then he will really cause Wolves a lot of problems. We've also got Anthony Martial, who's been playing fairly decently. Anthony, who I thought didn't really have didn't really show too much confidence in that Nottingham Forest game. He had a few chances and didn't really take them with any conviction, and I'm not sure whether it was just a blip on his part. I really do hope it is, because I thought during the World Cup he didn't have the most amazing World Cup, although he wasn't really a starter for Brazil. But for me, I think in terms of the forward options we've got, obviously our midfield, Casemiro playing like an absolute beast right now. He's been brilliant for us, brilliant in that Nottingham Forest game, unequivocally man of the match. If he plays like he does, he can control that midfield. And I think the midfield battle is going to be really, really important in this game. If we can keep possession, if we can, keep Wolves under wraps, it's going to be very difficult for them to create any chances. And ultimately, they're going to be looking to create chances on the counter-attack. So we'll be needing Casemiro to cut out balls in the midfield. But I'll give you my predicted starting 11, and you guys can give your predicted starting 11s in the live chat and the comment section down below. But I think it's going to look something like this. Harry Maguire returning to the team. But apart from that, I think it's going to be a fairly unchanged lineup. I'm going to go with De Gea, Shaw, Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka. Of course, Shaw vacating the centre-back role, which actually I thought Shaw played quite well. Eriksen, Casemiro, Fernandes, Anthony, Rashford, Martial, which on paper seems like a very, very positive 11. And it is very positive. Going forward, you look at the options on the pitch there. Fernandes, Anthony, Rashford, Martial. Casemiro can get forward as well. Eriksen, of course, is a brilliant playmaker. There's no excuses, really, in terms of going forward with this attack. And I think I did see that Man United had created the most chances out of any Premier League side this season. So, it shows, with the quality we've got on the pitch, but we just have to be ruthless with it, especially in a game at Molyneux. Fine margins are going to win this game. I really do believe it's going to be a close one, guys. So we have to be able to take the chances when they come. Box has joined us. Merry Christmas, Box. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you very much. As I said, Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you had a good Christmas. Obviously, New Year's coming up, so I have a new thing to say after that. But yeah, hopefully all you guys had a good Christmas. I had a very good Christmas. This is obviously a jumper that I got for Christmas as well, so a bit of Christmas theme in there. But yeah, hope you guys had a good Christmas as well. Matthew's saying Martinez back in a kind of quizzical fashion. We'll get the team back up. I did hear from Ten Hag, and obviously we saw from the training videos that Martinez came back into training on Wednesday, I think it was, so a couple of days ago. I don't think, looking at what Ten Hag said in the press conference and the team news, that Martinez is going to be slot straight back into the starting 11. He might do, and I might be completely wrong, but from the research I did on all the quotes and all the kind of news coming out, potential team news, I didn't see any evidence to say Martinez would start. However, obviously, Varane came back from the World Cup, trained a couple of days, and came straight back into the starting 11. So, as I said, I could be absolutely wrong on that, but I think Ten Hag might look to go with Maguire. Yes, he was obviously suffering with an illness, which meant he was only on the bench for our game against Nottingham Forest, but I feel like Ten Hag's going to go with Maguire. He's going to try and slot him back in next to Varane. And I think, especially for this game, I'd love to see, Martinez and Varane back, because I thought both of them had a brilliant World Cup, which obviously culminated in both of them getting to the final of the World Cup. So, I'd love to see that partnership back, but I just have a feeling he might start Maguire and then maybe after 60, 70 minutes give Lisandro Martinez, the last 10, 15 minutes of the game, hopefully with us in the lead at least. But yeah, as I said, I don't think there's going to be too many changes to the team. I think that's pretty well what he's going to go with. I was toying with the idea of putting Garnacho in instead of Anthony, especially due to the fact that he didn't really seem too confident against Nottingham Forest. He missed a couple of his chances. But other than that, I don't think you can argue with the team. I think if you put Martinez in instead of Maguire, it's a fairly strong team. I've still gone with Wan-Bissaka as well, who I think's actually been pretty good and looks to be trying to really prove himself in this side, especially with Dalot coming back into training, which is good for us as well. His injury didn't seem to be too bad. You would expect Dalot to come back in when he's fully fit, and again, he might come back in for this game, we don't know, but I think he will keep Wan-Bissaka in, and I think he's actually played quite well, so that's what I'm going to go with. Box goes to 6-0 United. I somehow doubted Box. I love the positivity, but I have to doubt it because Wolves with that new manager bounce are going to be something else. I'm telling you, it's going to be a very, very difficult game. Box says, when was the last time we smashed a team? Well, it's something that every time I watch United, I always think about. When was the last time we actually really dominated a game and, kind of won 5 or 6-0? And it's very rare. It's very rare for us. But for me, I think ultimately, results are all that matters. Obviously, you get a lot of joy from winning 5 or 6-0, but results, 3 points ultimately is what matters at the end of the season. So, yeah, it would be brilliant to do that. I think maybe the last time would have been like 9-0 against Southampton. That was a pretty good thrashing, to be fair. But apart from that, it's one of those things where I'm just grateful if we win games. I'm going to say a massive cliche here, but there's no easy games in this league. And yes, we're playing a side that was very recently at the rock bottom of the Premier League. But new manager, the players seem to have a lot more confidence, especially after that win against Everton. They're going to be revitalised, and it's going to be a very, very difficult game. I'm telling you that right now. Luca, thanks for joining, Luca, appreciate it. Make sure to check out his channel, great stuff over there. Thanks for supporting, Luca, appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. And Dazza says good morning. Well, nearly good morning, to be fair. Only an hour and 15 minutes away, but Dazza, thanks for joining, really appreciate it. Make sure to check out Dazza's channel as well, brilliant stuff on there as usual. I also says, when are we going to get back on the StreamYard calls? Yeah, 2023, this has to happen. And I think if I do a lot more frequent content on here, because to be honest with you, 2022 I've been slacking massively in terms of the content. I haven't been consistent at all, which kind of sums up how United have been playing this season, really. I feel like my channel has summed up United quite perfectly. But hopefully I get a lot more consistent in the new year in terms of my streams, and I definitely will have people on the calls, because I really did enjoy that, I mean, some people might think I enjoy the sound of my own voice, but I really, really don't. It can get lonely sometimes, especially when you don't have that other perspective. So, it's great to listen to you guys in the live chat in the comment section below, of course. But it's always good to get new perspectives on. So, CSN says, yeah, get the link in, mate. Probably not tonight, but... as I said, in 2023, it has to change. And maybe after the Wolves game, I might, if anyone's around, might get some people on. But obviously, New Year's Day, fast approaching. Hopefully, Manchester United can be a lot more consistent than they have been this year. But finally, I'm going to get into my score predictions, and then we will wrap the stream up. So all of you guys watching live right now, or watching on the replay as well, leave your score predictions in the live chat or the comment section down below. What do you think? We already had the 6-0 from Box, which I think is very, very optimistic. And listen, I hope you're right, Box. I hope you're right. But I do think it's going to be a tough one. For me, I really think I don't see it being a high scoring game. But I'm going to predict United end the year on a high. I'm going to say 2-1 to Manchester United. I think it's going to be a really, really tight game. I think United go in at the break 2-0 up. I think Wolves pull one back with about 20 minutes to go. And it's a very, very tight end to the game. But we just about hold on. We'll just about have enough to beat Wolves 2-1. And we hopefully, depending on all the results going our way, go into 2023 inside the top 4, which would be a nice boost. But I doubt those results are going to go our way, to be honest. But we hope, we live in hope. I'm going to go 2-1 tonight. I really think it'll be a close one. I think Rashford will get on the score sheet. You know, the year he's had, or at least the last kind of 2 or 3 months he's had, it would only be right for him to finish the year in goal scoring fashion. So I'm going to say Rashford on the double. Rashford gets 2 goals and Wolves pull one back, but it's not enough. So I'm going to go 2-1. That's my prediction. Let me know your predictions in the live chat. Welcome to Red Dot Weekly Live from the National Space Station. Yeah, I've got to replace that picture, don't I, really? I've got to put some Man United thing up there. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's still up there, to be honest. It's been up there for years. It just adds to it. Have a good Christmas, everyone. Yeah, I hope you guys had a good Christmas. I had a very good Christmas. As I said, hope you guys had a good seasonal period. Box says, after we beat Wolves 7-0, there'll be a party at Kieran's. I'll tell you what, if we do beat Wolves 7-0, yeah, I'll throw up. How about that? If we beat Wolves 7-0, you can all come round to my house. I'll personally throw the best New Year's Eve party you've ever seen. What time the Rocket League going to leave? 12 PM launch time, maybe. Yeah. Mate, I tell you, as I said, I've got to change that. I've got to get some Man United stuff up. Maybe you guys can let me know what you would put up. What suggestions would you make for this little space here? I've got some Man United stuff I could put up, but it would take some effort. That's the only problem. So yeah, let me know your score predictions before we wrap up. We'll probably wrap up once we've done about 20 minutes. Daryl with a beautiful dad joke right there. Love it. Hindsight. You can't beat Heinz, and I'm not even sponsored by Heinz, but you can't beat them. I mean, if they do want to send me some ketchup, that would be brilliant. Or some beans, anything like that. Mayonnaise, maybe not mayonnaise, but just ketchup and beans would be absolutely brilliant. Even some barbecue sauce, you know, I'm not fussy. I'm really not fussy. Box, you need an Al Nassr poster? Yes, of course. The big news, I should really address this, Cristiano Ronaldo has joined Al Nassr, getting about 200 million euros over the next couple of years, which ain't a bad payday. You know, it ain't a bad payday for a 37, 38-year-old. He's got the bag. You know, he secured the bag. It's almost a bit sad, really. And I wonder if he's going to be kicking himself for the decision to even come back to Man United, to be honest. But I don't know. But yeah, obviously he signed the contract. He will be playing there. I guess it'll bring eyes to the Saudi Arabian League. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be watching the games now. But yeah, I wonder what Ronaldo's thinking deep down. You know, especially after doing the interview and everything. But yeah, it's just one of those big stories. Obviously as well, Pelé unfortunately passed away. What a legend, man. What an absolute legend. I mean, if you haven't already, there's a video circulating on Twitter kind of showing how all the skills and all these tricks that all the footballers did are doing nowadays. You know, Pelé did it first. It's a really, really good video. If you can find it on Twitter, I would urge everyone to watch it. And if you guys haven't seen any clips of Pelé, you know, like me, obviously, I'm way too young to have seen him in the flesh. But just watching clips of him, obviously, it's just, you know how big of a legend he is. And also just how he transcended the sport, really. You know, you can't argue with that. The fact that even people that never watched a football game in their life, you know, knew who Pelé was. So obviously he shows how big of a legend he is, and you know, R.I.P. What a legend. Box says, will you be doing Saudi watch-alongs? I probably won't be doing Saudi watch-alongs, Box. As I said, I wouldn't hold your breath unless something crazy happens in the next kind of 4 or 5 months. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I don't think I'll be doing any of those Saudi watch-alongs, unfortunately. I'm sure there'll be channels that will, though. Yeah, I know, Daryl. I know. I'm getting on, mate. I'm getting on. I'm getting on. Yeah, but yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'll probably wrap up the stream. I think, as I said, it wasn't going to be too long of a stream tonight, but we go into this last game. Hopefully United can do the business. I'm going with a 2-1 United win. Rashford to get 2 goals in this game. And hopefully we just have enough. Hopefully we just have enough to beat Wolves. And go in, fingers crossed, other results going for us inside the top 4. But it's going to be a very, very difficult game. But anyway, I'll see you guys after the game. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the support you've given me in 2022. And here's to a fantastic 2023. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in a bit. Cheers.